Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on the rather new but very cool subject of business intelligence. Thank you for joining me this Tuesday morning. My name is Lukas Kristensson, and I work as an account executive at Lime in Lund. Lime Technologies is a supplier of a market-leading CRM platform. Our general goal is to deliver a user-friendly system that will simplify the working day for our customers. And of course, to create customer magnets. Being a sales rep, KPIs, budget achievements, figures, that's something that I work with each and every day. So that's why I have the pleasure of hosting this webinar for you guys today. And there is a lot of you joining me today. This webinar will be semi-recorded, which means that in just a few seconds, I'm going to tap in a digital version of myself to get this webinar going. It also means that during that time, I'm going to scan the chat for any thoughts and questions that you might have that pops up along the way. So please feel free to use that. Without further ado, I think we're ready to get this going. I hope that you will enjoy it. All right, I have just been tapped in by the live version of myself, and now we're ready to get this webinar going. Before I start, feel free to add me on LinkedIn just to connect, or if you have any questions that we won't cover today. During this webinar, we will touch base with the following topics: business intelligence in brief, what is business intelligence and how can we use it in our everyday? Please keep in mind that I'm working as a sales rep for a CRM supplier. Thus, my input regarding BI will lean towards sales and how it can be used tied to another system. But don't worry, we will try to see it from different perspectives as well. Why should you use BI tools? What is the shared benefit for different departments and how can you create value? How could a modern BI platform look? And in the Lime portfolio, we have a BI tool called Lime BI that is used together with Lime CRM. I will try my best during this webinar not to be partial and not only talk about Lime software. But I know myself and I'm a big fan of seeing is believing, so therefore I will also give you a very brief tour in our very own Lime BI. As I mentioned earlier, I'm looking forward to answering any questions in the end, so let's take a few minutes after the session where we gather thoughts and questions. So, what is business intelligence? I've summarized 2 bullet points of what I believe describes it in a good and simple way. Business intelligence combines business analysis, data mining, data visualization, data tools and infrastructure, and best practices to help organizations to make more data-driven decisions. In practice, you know you got a modern business intelligence when you have a comprehensive view of your organization's data and use that data to drive change, eliminate inefficiencies, and quickly adapt to market or supply changes. So, with a good business intelligence tool, organizations can gain new insights on data and change. It will help make sense of the data and you can discover patterns. Thus, makes it easier to form strategies to align with the markets. And in a time like this, with uncertainty of COVID-19, business intelligence with the right use of data and analysis make organizations gain flexibility, agility, and awareness. This is the time to move from reactivity to pre-activity. Or, if you're not a fan of the fancy version of it, you could always say that business intelligence is a cooler way of presenting and using data. To mix this webinar up a bit, I'm going to present a short video. It will only take 2 minutes and it's completely outside of digital tools, but in a way that I think is very connected to BI. right. So I know this is not connected to software and specific functions, but I think that this video represents something pretty cool. The goal here was to make more people take the stairs, and the strategy was to add a visual spectra to an everyday activity. The clear result of that strategy was a change in behavior according to the set goal. I think that most of you listening to this webinar today can translate that into other activities that you or your coworkers are doing every day. It could be connected to sales, marketing, delivery, or customer service. But instead of a staircase piano, the visual spectra could be powered by business intelligence. On the market today, with the excitement of BI, there is of course a lot of different platforms and solutions. In order to keep this somewhat impartial, you will see a bunch on the screen right now. But of course, there are many more. When choosing a BI software, I would say that the key feature to look after is simplicity. These tools will be more or less capable of doing the exact same thing, to present data in a cool way. So if you're on the market searching for a business intelligence tool, look for a solution where you can build dashboards and reports for yourself. Much like any other digital tool, you will notice new ways of working with it as you start using it. Therefore, to have a tool where you can adjust the solution yourself will reduce costs and minimize headaches. Now we have somewhat gathered or covered the what question. Let's dig into the why. Why should we use BI platforms? Firstly, increased workflows. An effect you will see by visualizing data in an appealing way is that coworkers will up their speed and start doing the right thing. Just connect to the video in the beginning. Business intelligence will improve transparency and help employees and organizations understand what behaviors that create success, and therefore what I should spend my time on. Aspired behaviors and actions become more tangible and in turn easier to reproduce. You will gain new and deeper insights. It also supports you in finding out where you're on track and where you can improve, and this by a complete and transparent overview of data. Spark motivation. As a sales rep, I'm used to measuring sales and numbers because that's what everyone does. But what are the focus areas we aim to improve in? Pinpoint areas and departments who need that extra spark. Like seeing the result in real-time graphs and dashboards, I can promise you that it will spark the motivation of your team. Availability. A modern tool should of course be available at all times as long as you're connected, and I think this goes without saying. I pinpointed 10 core benefits of why I think you should use a business intelligence tool. Faster reporting, analysis, and planning. BI platforms are designed to process data from gathered systems and analyze that data using different questions and queries. The benefit is to make data analysis easier and more intuitive. You will have more accuracy with the real-time data, and it will improve your business decisions. BI platforms offer visualizations tools that provide a better understanding of historical data, real-time updates, forecasts, and trends. You will improve data quality and you will improve efficiency. The ability to assess data and gain a holistic view will help organizations identify opportunities on the markets. Reduce time thieves, and we will go into that in a while. Improve customer experience. BI should not only be used within sales, but also in relation to support and, for instance, customer service. Discover trends in your support tickets and use the data to improve your customer service. You will have trusted data, it will increase the competitive advantages, and of course, the best part, increase revenues. BI enables you to establish metrics and KPIs that align with the set organizational strategy, offering the visibility into business performance and return on investment by gathering more in-depth insights. As a sales rep at Lime, I'm in contact with all sorts of organizations, everything from municipalities, big, medium, small organizations within different industries. It could be wholesale companies, membership organizations, machinery, real estate, and so on. Something that I still see, despite this stage in age, is information overload. It is still very common that we keep our customer data in different environments and create islands of information. A way to put it that I think many of you can relate to is that organizations live in Excel hell. Clear pains, as a result, is that we spend a lot of time searching for data within different islands. More time then goes to summarize the data and present it during department meetings, board meetings, and so on. And once you have gathered the data and presented it in some nice reports, it doesn't take long before the data becomes out of date. And then we start this process all over again. Add a BI platform integrated with surrounding systems with real-time updates of data, and the time we spend searching for information will reduce enormously. Now I've spent close to 10-12 minutes talking about the what and the why, and it's time to start fetching at the how question. We're not going to get into how to work in a BI tool, but rather of how it could look if you use a modern tool instead of, for instance, Excel. I mention Excel because I think most of us can relate to it. I think we can relate to this classic Excel environment. Presenting data in different Excel sheets can of course work, and if you're somewhat talented, you can gain a lot of knowledge from your different lists. You can then use the list and of course visualize the data by using the somewhat standardized features for it. And don't get me wrong, I still love Excel and to see data in lists because it's super simple to work with. But how can we keep the data up to date? And to be honest, wouldn't it be cooler if all customer data is already gathered and presented like this? A BI tool where we can see different dashboards for all that we need. It could be activities such as sales calls, customer meetings, web demos, or cold calls. You could see sales forecast for pipeline management. How many quotations have we sent out? Is our pipeline aligned with our overall goal this month, this quarter, this year? We could fetch invoice data and see turnover figures. Hit rates, how many of the quotations that we send out do we win? How many do we lose? And then use that data to see if we can reduce the gap. And if we're not only going to look at sales figures, you could of course use the same kind of platforms when looking at, for instance, help desk statistics. Now this is in Swedish, I'm sorry for that. Here we can see different dashboards toward customer service or ticket handling. How many active tickets do we have? How many delayed? How many new tickets? What is the general source of our tickets? Do we get them by email, phone, web page, chat? Use the information to see our processing time or discover lead times. We've spent roughly 15 minutes talking about business intelligence in general. And as I mentioned earlier, I can't really help myself, and I'm a big fan of seeing is believing. So therefore, we're going to now start to talk about Lime BI. Just some general background. Lime CRM is a highly flexible CRM tool on the market that is easy to adapt and integrate with different systems. One of the more standard integrations that we do is to connect an ERP system directly with the CRM in order to, for instance, fetch invoice data and to see turnover figures based on customer level. We then have the add-on called Lime BI, where we can take all that information that we have in our CRM system and apply it in different dashboards and different graphs. You can see on the arrow going back to Lime CRM that we also can embed these kind of dashboards. So for the user, you don't even have to change platform. You can see everything in the same kind of overview. Lime BI is a tool for business follow-up, for reporting, for business intelligence, to get a clear overview of your customer base, create fact-based decisions, generate nice and visually appealing dashboards, and of course, the most important part for me, please, It's very easy to use. Now we've come to that part in this webinar where I will give you a brief introduction, a little demo time in Lime BI. So I will take this PowerPoint away and we will together open up Lime BI. When you first log in to Lime BI, you will see a bunch of different folders. Within these different folders, you will have different kind of dashboards and different kind of reports. The folders could be based on a group level, it could be on department level or coworker level. So for each user to see the dashboards, that is important for me specifically. If we click on the sales dashboard, we will get a clear overview of a bunch of different graphs. We can then see in the top left corner that we can filter this data. So for instance, if you're in a customer or a coworker meeting, filter down on a specific sales rep and see how the figures change. In this overview, in the top, I will have dashboards that is regarding our order intake. Are we aligned with our budgets? Is it more or less than it was last month? How many deals have we won this year to date? What is the average size? Underneath that, I will see some specific activities, in this case, sales calls and customer visits. Underneath the activities, I will see the same kind of information regarding order intake, but in a completely different dashboard. We support different languages and we can see different kinds of reports. If we scroll down, we can then see our general pipeline in a nice circle dashboard. And why not, right next to the sales figures, have some help desk types per month? How many help desk types do we have, or how many tickets do we handle each month? We have a sales forecast, and if you scroll down to the left, you will see a hit rate, how many agreements versus how many rejections do we have. Then use this data to see if we can make these rejections of 23.6% become less. And in the small graph to the bottom right corner, you will see how many new deals do we have based on new customers or existing customers. And once again, use the data to set a global strategy for it. If you just hover over one of the dashboards, you will see some more information. Now I'm standing on the quotation part of our pipeline. I can see that we have sent out 198 quotations, and that's 34.4% of our general pipeline. If I then click it and view details, we will then go into the list where I can see all of the different quotations that we have sent out to customers and then use it. You could, of course, also use these kind of dashboards to publicly share them and embed them in different kinds of environments. If you, for instance, have a TV screen in your sales room or a TV screen in your support department, or why not in your lunch area, embed these dashboards and share it on the screen and let Lime CRM give you real-time updates of the different dashboards. And I can promise you that it will motivate your coworkers. That was a brief 3-minute introduction to Lime BI. Let's open up the PowerPoint once again. And do a brief summary of this webinar. Some key features with business intelligence. It's used to create simple and visual reports from real-time data. It will exclude general time thieves and reduce the administrative time. It will help spark motivation and drive change by implementing a visual spectra. Choose a platform that is easy to use and try to see it from different perspectives. Not only is it a sales tool. Now this webinar is coming to an end, but if you're interested in seeing more about Lime BI and how you can use it more in practice, we have another webinar coming up this Thursday between 9:30 and 10. That webinar will be in Swedish and more towards current Lime CRM users. Now I will say goodbye to the digital version of myself and once again hello to the live version. All right, we had some technical difficulties right now, but let's see if we have a few minutes to just go through the different questions. Are you going to continue? That's probably the best question today. So that was the plan. So sorry for the little technical hiccup. I had a question regarding the storage of data in the cloud environment and what security in the storing. Well, if we look at Lime CRM, there are different kinds of, well, way to host data. You could host it on-prem, so you will have the storage yourself and, well, handle the data yourself, or you can use cloud hosting with Lime, basically. And we use Amazon servers in Ireland, and every data is stored in, well, crypt form, I think it's called, even when it's in REST. And we have a question regarding if it's possible to get an API from Lime. Yes, absolutely. So each and every Lime environment have an open REST API that we can use to integrate with the surrounding systems. We then have an integration about if Lime can talk to other system, in this case, a system called Procopta. Sorry to say, I'm not very familiar with that system, but you could say that in most cases, integrations work. Lime is a very adjustable and flexible tools, and we have many different solutions in order to make those integrations work. The thing we have to look after is what is the information or the integration supposed to do? Is it to communicate with data directly to Lime, or is it a more of a two-way connection where Lime also is supposed to speak to the other system? Everything like this, it influences how we build integration in the first place. All right, I think that was, do you provide a template for Microsoft Power BI? No, not really. I know we have made, I'm not totally understanding the question, to be honest, but what I know is we have done integrations with Power BI where we send data from Lime to that system in order to generate these kind of dashboards. But nowadays, we use our own tool for it, Lime BI. So sorry to say that if it doesn't cover the question, I'm sorry, but we'll get back to it. And if you have Lime today, how can you get access to Power BI through Lime? Well, the easiest part is to talk to your sales responsible at Lime, give them an email, give them a call. Most of us are super friendly. They can give you a more in-depth tour in Lime BI and give you all of the pricing instructions and how we now can implement it and how you can use it. Because much like Lime CRM is a flexible platform, so that is Lime BI as well. So we can use it in different types of ways. And is there possibilities to import older statistics to quickly start analysis against last year's, etc.? Yes, there is. Usually when you're a new customer entering your Lime CRM the first time, we've already made imports of existing data so that you can have, well, for instance, the turnover figures the last 3 years or the last year and so on. And this data we can use. So as long as we have it in Lime CRM in the database, then we can use it in the BI tool. And how can we get the invitation to next session about how to create dashboards? And yeah, that was actually a question that I have for myself as well, because I didn't mention it in this digital version. So my colleague, Anna Hansen, our star at Customer Success, she will host this webinar on Thursday. If you want to join, just go into either our customer site, customer.limetechnologies, I think it is, or just Google Lime CRM webinars, and you will get to a landing page where you can register. Is there any requirements of the Lime CRM setup for the BI to work smoothly? Yes, there is a few technical aspects that you need to consider. And once again, this time it's better to speak to your direct responsible sales rep at Lime, and they will walk you through it. Is there a test version that we could try out before we choose to purchase Lime BI? I would say that also, I think it's possible, I would say, but of course, talk to your sales responsible, see if there's anything we can do. The thing with Lime BI is that it's connected to your direct database, which means that we have to have an installation, and we need to educate you so you can know how to do these kinds of graphs and dashboards, because otherwise we won't really, well, the system won't get the right kind of love if you don't know how to use it. So I would say to talk to your sales responsible, make them demo it for, well, a longer time than I did today with the 3 minutes, and then of course take a look at how we can put up demo environments or test environments. All right, that was the final question. I'm very happy to have hosted this webinar for you today. I hope that you found it at least somewhat interested, and I hope to see you again in the future. Thank you for today, guys.